Hey guys, Marauder here, and welcome to another collection update. I have, of course, all the games in front of me that I've picked up since the last collection update, so figured we'd go through one at a time. I'd talk about them a little bit, and maybe give some recommendations along the way, and hopefully you see some things you're interested in. So let's get this underway. First thing, I picked this game up because you'll see why when I turn over, but this is Loco Roco 2 for PlayStation Portable. And a store near me was getting rid of all of their PSP titles, obviously because the Vita's out, nobody's buying PSPs, but $1. This was $1 for Loco Roco 2. I haven't actually opened it because I wanted to show the price tag, because it blew my mind when I saw it. All the other games were, you know, $10, but this one for some reason was $1. So I picked it up, because why not? It's $1, and what else can you do with $1 these days other than buy really old PSP games? I hear this is a good one, and I have not played the first Loco Roco, so this should be pretty fun. But I got to drag my PSP out to play it, so we'll see how that goes. Moving on, got two PS3 games to add to my collection. The first one, this was a late Christmas present, but Aquapazza Aqua Plus Dream Match. This is released by Atlas for the PS3. It's a one-on-one animated fighting game, similar to things like Arcana Hearts, I suppose, or Blaze Blue. At least in terms of, I don't want to say it's similar because I don't want to piss anybody off necessarily, but you know what I mean. It's very much in that same kind of style. The main thing here is, all of these characters, I guess, come from various animes or like visual novels and things. I don't know most of these characters. There's like 3 on the cover I recognize from various animes and things, but for the most part, no idea. The game's fun though. My friends and I play it pretty much anytime they come over, and it's a fun little fighting game. It's not anything super complicated, but it seems deep enough that you could get into it like any other proper fighting game. So, yeah, give this one a shot. If you're a fan of Blaze Blue or any other kind of 2D fighting game like that, this might be right up your alley. It certainly is not it's not a bad game. It's tons of fun. I just think it would be more fun if I knew where more of the characters came from. The next game is, this one I was actually surprised to see actually come over here. Is Hatsune Miku Project Diva F for the PS3. This is a port of the Japanese version, either that or it's a port of the Vita version. I can't remember. But yeah, it's a music rhythm game featuring Hatsune Miku, who's I guess a very popular Japanese anime character of sorts that sells out actual coliseums, and I don't know, it's this weird phenomenon for this character. But as you all know, I bought the one on Vita because it looked like fun, and it was a blast. I figured it would be more fun if I could actually read some of the text. So when this was ported over, I grabbed it almost immediately. Sadly though, the case got all damaged in shipping. I'm gonna have to buy like some cheap, not PS3 Game & Switch cases, because that really upsets me. But that's what happens when Amazon mails everything in a bubble mailer. So that does it for my PS3 games. Move on to my Wii U. I picked up one new game. I got a really good deal on this when I picked it up, which is why, but it's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I'm not a huge Donkey Kong fan. I don't care for the ones on Super Nintendo. I never played the one on the Wii or the 3DS. So why did I pick this up? Well, the 3DS, or excuse me, the Wii U is going through a bit of a gaming drought. And so when I saw this game out, it actually did look like fun. I was looking for something else to play on my Wii U, and this fits the bill. This is probably my favorite Donkey Kong game, if not one of my favorite platformers of all time. It's very difficult. You'd be lucky to get through a level on your first try. It's nail-bitingly difficult. And I like that. It harkens back to old school difficulty levels of Twitch based reactions and just taking things as they come. It's very, and it just feels so rewarding when you get to the end of a level. The level designs are great. The music's fantastic. The graphics are very very nice. Lots of detail. It's still a 2.5D game. You're still just moving left and right, up and down in a 3D world, similar to like the new Super Mario Brothers games and things like that. But it's hard. It's hard, it's rewarding, and it's fun. And in co-op, it's even more of a mess. And just my friends and I play it, and we just laugh. It's great fun. So I highly recommend anyone has a Wii U, even if you don't care for the Donkey Kong games like I do, still give it a shot. I think you'll be very, very pleased. Load times are a bit on the long side, though. I will say that. Loading in that game takes a while. So just, prepare to sit down and take your time. We'll move on to my 3DS next. I have two games for my 3DS that I picked up recently. The first is Bravely Default. Everybody says this game is fantastic. So I picked it up because everyone can't be wrong. I have not had any time to play this yet. Mainly because I've been playing other games in the stack at the moment, and from what I've been told from people that I work with, if I'm going to play this, I gotta like really set aside some time. So until I have time to do that, this is just going to sit on my shelf. But very excited to have this. I've heard nothing but good things. And also, apparently, it's even forced Square Enix to go back to, doing more traditional Japanese role-playing games, the kind that actually made their namesake. Things like the original Final Fantasies and things like that before they went off kilter with Final Fantasy 13 and so on. So that's good. I'd like to see more role-playing games. In fact, a lot of the games in the stack right now that I have in front of me are actually Japanese role-playing games. So I'm going to be busy. The next 3DS game I picked up is Sonic Lost World. This is the version for the 3DS. It's different from the Wii U version. And to be honest, I don't like this much. The levels are very long, very tedious. The controls just are not as responsive as the Wii U version. I mean, the Wii U version has its issues with controls and so forth, but it's just extrapolated onto the 3DS version for some reason. Boss battles are really difficult. Certain parts of the game just seem impossible at times. I more than once I've been frustrated enough to just shut the system off and put it down and not come back to it for a while. I love Sonic, I do. He's my my favorite character, but this just was not a very good game, at least not in my mind. Maybe you'll enjoy it when you play it, but I couldn't stand it. Supposedly there's a way to connect the two, like the Wii U version to the 3DS version, and do some two-player stuff or something, but I frankly don't care enough to check that out because I'm not that big a fan of this. So, I don't know. Check it out at your own risk. It's certainly not a bad game. It just has one too many issues, and things are a little bit too glitchy for my liking. Moving on to the retro games I picked up. I picked these all up at a local used play and trade. The first one is an NES game released by Capcom, Disney's Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. This was $5. And I picked this up mainly because I didn't have it. And it was $5. I haven't played this yet, but I've seen video of people playing it. It doesn't look terrible. It looks like it could be a bit of fun. Plus, I'm a bit of a Disney fan, so it might be fun to walk through a 8-bit rendition of the Magic Kingdom. So, just thought that'd be fun to grab, and for $5, it can't be that bad. For the original Game Boy, mainly because I've been trying to grow my Game Boy collection a bit, Bomberman on Game Boy. This is actually a really good version of Bomberman. I like the whole Indiana Jones-esque look he has with his hat and coat and the whip. Not sure what that has to do with the actual game, but it's fun anyway. I've played this for a long time. I like the original Bomberman series, the very simplistic plant the bomb and run away kind of mechanic. And this one, follows up on that. Screen zoomed in a bit more than it would be on a console version, but it's not. It's far from unplayable. It's very, very playable. It's fun. And it's got Super Game Boy support, so you put it in the Super Game Boy and you can actually play multiplayer using just the controllers and this one cartridge. So that's impressive. And that was $5. I mean, again, how could you go wrong? Now this next one, this is a Genesis game, and I have been looking for this game since I was a little kid and first collecting for my Sega Genesis. And when I saw it at the store, I immediately grabbed it. I didn't even care how much it was. And that is Mazin Saga Mutant Fighter. This is a game based on a Japanese manga of the same name. Alright, was it Mazinger Z? I don't remember. It's one of those Super Sentai style of shows, armored superhero fighting villains thing. The thing that really blew my mind as a kid was the animation in this game is incredible. The way the characters move and react was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. It's not the best beat 'em up on the system, but it's certainly one of those hidden gems that I think anyone should check out. I mean, play it on an emulator and see how you like it. But it's very, very good, and I very much enjoy it. Now, one thing that is kind of disappointing, I paid $15 for this, which was a bit much for card only, and I wouldn't be that upset, except it was a rentals copy, so it's got some stickers on it. But I don't know if you can see this. The rental store at the time actually branded their name into the back of the cartridge, so it says property of Hollywood Video. You think that would kind of affect the value of the cartridge a bit, but I guess not, because they were charging $15 for it. Still, I'm happy to have it. This is a very uncommon game. At least I haven't seen it out in the wild at all the entire time I've been collecting Genesis games since high school. So, I mean, I grabbed it. I'm not disappointed. I just kind of wish stores like that would take those kind of things into account when pricing their games. Alright, next game. This is a PC game that I pre-ordered as soon as it popped up, and I'm very happy I did. This is and it's not too often that PC games end up in my collection for a number of reasons. I don't buy a lot of PC games because generally you end up having to connect it to Steam anyway. So having a physical disc of something on Steam is kind of it's an oxymoron. It doesn't make sense. So I always just buy games on Steam whenever they go on sale or whenever I want them. And I don't count them as part of my actual collection since I don't have a physical copy. Like, yes, I have 100 Steam games, but I don't feel like I own them. So while I like PC games and I buy PC games occasionally, mostly on Steam, it's very rare that I get a game like this. And that game is Steins Gate. This is the limited edition, collector's edition, or whatever they call it. It comes in this very, very large box. And for anyone who doesn't know, Steins Gate is a visual novel. It was released in Japan, and they also made an anime based on it about a guy who named Hyoin Kyoma, who, well, that's the name he gives himself, but his name is Ocarine, and he is a mad scientist of sorts, and he creates a time machine, and a whole bunch of other weird stuff happens. The plot is incredible, at least as far as I've read the plot. I don't want to ruin the game for myself, but if it's anything like the anime, it should be very, very good. It reminds me of, Back to the Future and things like that, where time travel makes sense. Everything that happens makes sense within the realm of time travel. And so a small company, Nitro Plus, decided to bring this over, publish it, and I pre-ordered the limited edition as soon as I saw it. What you get in the limited edition, again, you get this awesome, but I gotta give them credit for this box. This box is really nice. It's really hard to fit on my shelf, but it's nice. You get an art book. Actually, I think this is the... No, this is the actual game manual. It's very nice to see they actually include a game manual, because a lot of games actually don't. You know, a little bit of artwork in here. It's all black and white. Not anything too spectacular, but that's made up for by what's in the box next, which is the Steins Gate official fan book. You know, this is your general character synopsis and various drawings of them and points of interest, a map of the world and things like that, and what order the events go in. You're apparently not supposed to read this. They actually do warn you of spoilers the second you open it. So, I'm not looking into that too much because I want to get into the game first. The actual game on a DVD, there's no... just comes in a clear case, which is a little disappointing. I was hoping they'd put a little bit more work into this, but seeing as how they put all the work into the actual collector's edition, I'm not upset too much. And then you get 2 of these. These are the team badges that the scientist hands out to everyone who's helping him build the time machine. I haven't actually opened these, so I'm going to keep them closed. But yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those like feely things that they used to include with like old school computer games, and it's really nice to see it here. And it has a special little spot it sits in with all the other stuff. The good thing about this game is there's almost... I don't think there's any DRM, because I installed the game, didn't ask for a CD key, didn't ask for online activation, didn't ask for anything. And I took the disc out, put the disc back in the box, and the game still works. So I played a bit of it. What I've played so far is very fun. So anyone who's interested in visual novels in games like 999 or Virtue's Last Reward or any other kind of visual novels like that might want to give this one a shot. You know, I can't speak for everyone, but personally I really like it. And if you want to see what it's like, go watch the anime Steins Gate. It's very good. I think I personally really enjoyed it, so very happy to have this in my collection. Now if I could just buy the anime, I'd be set. Alright, next stack of games here. This is a very interesting stack. Apparently the PlayStation Vita has been doing quite well as of late, and I actually picked up 4 games for it, which I find surprising given how slow the games have been rolling out for the system. All of a sudden these 4 games kind of all hit within the course of a couple of months. Well, 3 of them. One of them was an actual launch game, but we'll get to 3 of them. Just like all came out around the same time. So the first Vita game I picked up was Gravity Rush. This was a launch title, or at least a very early Vita game. I played the demo way back when I picked up my Vita initially. I really liked it, and I finally picked up the game. So I'm looking forward to getting into this. It looks like a really fun platformer. It looks amazing, especially on the screen that the Vita has. I heard on the 2000 model of the Vita that's coming out, they switched the screen out from an OLED to an LCD, and that's a shame. I mean, I know why they did it, but that OLED looks really nice. So very happy to have this finally, and I'm looking forward to playing it. But there's one game in this stack, and you'll know which one it is when I get to it, because it'll be the last one. But when I get to it, you'll know why I haven't played anything else recently. The next game, which came just a couple of days ago, is a game called Conception 2: Children of the Seven Stars. This is a game that many people have compared to Persona 4, at least in terms of gameplay and kind of style. It's an RPG where you play a character who has the ability to go into these portals and fight monsters that are invading the human world. And you classmate with other students of this school to get like these, I think they're called children or the perfect child or something like that. And the idea is to basically go into these dungeons and defeat the monsters. It kind of plays, again, a lot like Persona. I haven't played much of it. I played the demo for the Vita, which was the entire prologue for the game. And the gameplay is pretty fun. I could see myself really getting into this, but unfortunately I haven't yet. The next game is a game that just showed up this morning in the mail. I've had this on pre-order from NIS America's website for quite a while, and that is a game called Demon Gaze. This is the limited edition that they had released, and it comes with a soundtrack CD, an art book, and the game itself all in this nice box. I really don't know what to say about this. It's a dungeon crawling RPG. It's supposed to be very good. I was in the mood to play something like that, and so when I read the synopsis and I looked up a couple videos, it looked really interesting. So I pre-ordered the limited edition since it was only $10 more than the standard edition, and got free shipping anyway. Like I said, I don't have anything to say about this yet because I haven't actually played it, but hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully this is a lot of fun. So yeah, no recommendation on this yet, but maybe later. One game I can certainly recommend, and a game that makes owning a Vita almost worth it, is a game, and I think you'll know when I show you it. But this is a game I pre-ordered as soon as I saw it. This is Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. And this is, of course, the limited edition that comes off NIS America's website. A friend of mine, Phoenix923, actually turned me on to this game because I really enjoyed 999 and Virtue's Last Reward. And so he contacted me on Skype, and he was like, there's a game coming out called Trigger Happy Havoc. I think you'd be into that if since you like the other visual novels that you've played. So I did some research, looked it up. Looked like a whole lot of fun. I believe this is a port of the PSP version over to the Vita. Again, by NIS America. And it comes with the game, a soundtrack CD, and an art book. The art book on this one... The art book in Demon's Gaze is very good. The art book in this is more or less just like a single character and a little description of said character. I mean, there's very little going on in this art book, but it did come in useful once or twice while I was playing the game, so I can't necessarily say it doesn't have a use. I don't want to say anything about the plot per se because I don't want to ruin it for people. It's a visual novel, but it's a visual novel in a very direct sense in that there is only one ending. It's like a mix. It's almost like Phoenix Wright mixed with Battle Royale, I guess. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Essentially, you play this kid who gets accepted into the ultimate school. And the ultimate school is a school where the ultimate of somebody goes. So you've got like the ultimate baseball star, you've got the ultimate fashionista, you've got the ultimate fanfic writer, the ultimate psychic, and so on and so forth. And when you arrive, you are knocked unconscious, and when you awake, the entire school is locked down, and there's a bear. Yeah, he's jumping up in the corner there of the box. Monokuma, who basically says that only one of you gets to leave, and it's the last person who's alive who gets to leave. And so you play this game. It's the most... It's the most engrossing thing I've ever played, and it's really upsetting. It's really off-putting to play. The art style and the way the game is paced and things like that, really set it up as a really creepy experience. It's because not only is the music creepy and the setting and the premise, you know, creepy, but also just the way the graphics look, just the way things are designed, just the way the characters look, and how they, and like they're 2D. When you're walking around the school, all the characters in the game are 2D sprites, but you're in a 3D world, so they're flat. And this is intentional. It just makes the whole game feel very unworldly, like you're in another dimension, and I don't know. Basically, what happens in the game is that the last person alive gets to leave. So the basic premise goes that you go around during the day talking to all the students and basically trying to figure out how to get out of the school. Then someone will get murdered. The idea then is to investigate the murder and build a case for who you think did it. You then go to a trial phase, very, I guess, similar to Phoenix Wright, where you then have to figure out who the murderer is. If you get it right, the murderer dies. If you get it wrong, everyone else dies. So it's very nerve-wracking, and the court cases can go on for quite a while. I think I was in a court trial for at least 45 minutes, if not longer. But it was amazing. There's something about this game that is just incredible, and I highly recommend anybody who's a fan of visual novels, who's a fan of Phoenix Wright, who's a fan of Professor Layton, give this one a shot. It's obviously rated M for mature. And it certainly is mature. But I think you owe it to yourself to at least try it. I know there's a sequel to this game, at least in Japan. I hope it comes over here, because I will be picking it up as soon as possible, and at least as soon as it hits pre-order. And that's it. I can't recommend this game enough, and this is where I've been spending most of my time. So, alright, that is everything that I've played, or that I picked up since the last collection update, and a couple of ones that I've been playing through. I can recommend a handful of them. I can certainly recommend Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I can recommend Aquapausa. I can recommend Trigger Happy Havoc, and Mazin Saga Mutant Fighter. I think they're all very good games, and I think if you're into those styles of games, those are ones that you should probably check out. Anyway, that should be everything, so I hope to see you guys in the next collection update, and until then, I'll catch you later.